Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted, natural, spiritual. Some of y'all probably say, wow, when was the last time a car cam was done, a live car cam? It's been a while. It has really been a while since I've done a live car cam. But I decided to do one today, right now. I'm going to see. I'm going to give a few minutes to wait for a few people to come inside the room before we get started here. And let me make sure my camera tighten up on the base there, and it is. So let's get started with this. I see a few of you all coming inside the chat room. Let me wait for a few more, and I'm going to give you a live, straight from the heart car cam today. Notice I titled this, George Floyd. Are the Black Caucus members just reacting? Are the Black Caucus members just reacting? So let's keep this thing real, and let me break it down to you. Now, some of you all that have paper and pencil, I want you to get a paper and pencil. You're going to need it just for a few minutes. I'm only going to be on here for about 15-20 minutes, and that's it. But there's some important things I want you to write down. You must write down some of the information I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to go into this. So, good. We know the name. We know what happened. We know that it was devastating. And we know that all people of all races across this globe know that that was a horrific sight to see. We all know it. Okay? Now, after that name, I have the phrase, are the Black Caucus members just reacting? Two of the Black Caucus members, I don't need to call their name. You can do your own research. They're now passing bills. They're passing bills to get passed, to have resolutions to say things like, we want police reform. We want police reform. To me, that's reactive. That's not proactive. These are bills that they should have put on the table a long time ago. But I'm glad that they're putting them on the table. Better late than never. But those are reactive. Those are reactive bills. And it's good. Again, I'm not criticizing them. It's better late than never. Okay? But they are reactive bills. These things people have been crying out for a long time. If you are a policy maker, and if you're in a position to change policy, to enact policy, then your job is to be proactive. Again, if you're reactive, that's fine. Better late than never. But let's talk about some things that needs to be reactive. Proactive, not reactive, proactive. We're going to talk about that right now. Now, here's where the paper and pencil comes in at. Number one is this. I'm not excited about the laws that are going to be put forth because these are laws and policies that are already on the books in police departments. They just have not been used. So what a lot of police chiefs and a lot of politicians and all of the resolutions they're putting forth, they have different names, but the meat of the material is already on the books. The training has already been there. If you look at what happened in Minnesota, as it's been stated, those officers were trained not to do that. So now when you say we're going to now put forth a law that if you chokehold somebody, it's a felony. I think that's good. Those are reactive, but policies were already in place not to do that. And people could have been disciplined for that. But again, better late than never. I'm good. Now, here's what I want you to write down. I want you to, with your paper and pencil, I want you to write down the number 4 times 5. 4 times 5. And then I want you to go take that number, which is going to be 20, and multiply that by 4. And then I want you to take that number and multiply that by 12. And then I want you to take that number and multiply by 500. So you're going to take 4 times 5 times 4 times 12 times 500. Now I'm going to let you know what those numbers are. That's $4 a day times 5 days a week. $4 a day times 5 days times 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month. Then you're going to go times 12, because there's 12 months in a year, times 500. That's going to be our case study. That's 500 people. And you should come up with $480,000. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that is 5. I want to take this number. And again, let me just repeat those numbers so you can keep that in one category. That's $4 a day times 5 days a week times 4, which is 4 weeks in a month, times 12, which is 12 months in a year, times 500 people, and you should come up with 480,000. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 12 times 40. 12 times 40. That's $12 an hour times 40 hours a week times 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month, times 12, which is 12 months in a year, times 500. Let me read that again. You're going to take $12 an hour times 40 hours in a week. You're going to take that number and multiply that by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month. And you're going to take that number and multiply it by 12, because there's 12 months in a year. And then you're going to multiply that by 500 employees. That number is going to come out to $11.5 million. A little bit over 11.5, but let's write down 11.5 million. Now let me tell you where those numbers are coming from. Let me tell you that number again. $12 an hour times 40 hours a week times 4 weeks in a month. And then you're going to multiply that times 12, because there's 12 months in a year, times 500 employees. And that comes out to be 11.5 million. Now, why did I say $12 an hour? Because the average factory worker, blue collar worker in a factory, is going to make about $12 an hour. And again, the reason why I use the number 500 employees, because that's our case study number. 500 prisoners, 500 employees. Now, the difference between those two numbers is $11 million. 480,000 and 11.5. Now, where did I get the $4 a day? The average prisoner makes anywhere between 81 cents and $3.45 a day. Again, the average prisoner in prison labor makes anywhere from 81 cents a day to $3.45 a day. For calculating purposes, I took the number up to $4. Okay? Prisoners don't make $4 a day. At best, they're going to make $3.45 a day. But for calculations, it's easy to use the number $4 a day. So that's where I got that from. So what am I telling you? Then I want you to put in a Google search. And the Google search you're going to put in is companies that participate in prison labor. Companies that participate in prison labor. That's what you're going to put down. And you're going to get one link would tell you the top 50 companies that do prison labor. And you're going to find companies like Victoria's Secret, Target, Walmart, Microsoft, Apple, Boeing, City Furniture, Rooms to Go. You're going to find a bunch of companies that you know the name of. And they're going to be in the top 50. Now, here's the thing. Some of those companies, people learn trades like refrigerator coolant. Those jobs in the prison could be putting together coffee pots, toasters, microwaves, computers, cell phones, call centers, and all of that, okay? Now, I know everybody is jumping up and down because we're going to get police reform. But here's what the Black Caucus is not doing. And again, everybody that's in the Black Caucus, and let me tell you what the Black Caucus is. It's all of your senators and House of Representative members. All of your senators and they call them Congress. All of your Congress members on a national level know this, okay? On a state level too, but I'm dealing with those on the national level. So all of those individuals that are in the House of Representatives, all of those that are in the Senate, they know this. And you can include the ones on your state levels as well. They all know the information I'm giving you, okay? People, if you tell me you're not going to choke me before you put me in jail, okay, but I'm still going to jail. And there are still laws that need to be changed on. That's what police reform needs to be. It needs to be dealing with making people of color go to jail so easy. And if you are in jail working for one of those corporations, when you get out of jail and you go to apply for Walmart, Target, AT&T, and then you put on your application you've been incarcerated, guess what? They're not going to hire you. They're not going to hire you. You can't get a job. They will pay you $3 or $4 a day in prison. They will train you how to put together furniture, how to answer the phone, how to put together a toaster, how to put together a microwave, how to put a motherboard together inside of a laptop. But when you get out, they're not going to hire you. This is why hypocrisy exists in political government. This is why the Most High has to return and set up a perfect government on this earth. And you would never have a perfect government on this earth, ever, ever, because politicians are getting paid. They're getting paid by big boxes. So what the Democrats do is they say, well, the Republicans are getting paid by the National Rifle Association. I don't take money from the National Rifle Association because I want to fight gun laws. But on the same hand, you're going to take money from the big boxes. When I mean by the big box, that's the big box commercial stores. You know who they are: Target, Walmart, Kmart, all of the big box. They call it the big box mall stores. But you take campaign money from them. And by the fact that you take campaign money from them, you're not going to put anything on the laws about prison reform. Why? Because you need that money. You need that money to run for the election. You need that money to go into your campaign. You follow me what I'm saying? So it's all hypocritical to me, because these are things that you can look up and they already know, but they're not going to address it. So you're going to react when there's a George Floyd case, and you're going to react, put together laws that already exist, policies that already exist, but you're just changing the heading. And why are you changing the heading? Because you want people to think that there's something new. No, there's nothing new. You're just changing the name. You're just changing the title. The narrative is the same. So understand that things will never get better till the Most High returns. When Jesus returns and sat on the seat of David during the 1,000 year in Jerusalem, that's when there's going to be one law and one God. Other than that, brothers and sisters, I got no problem with people marching. I got no problem with people protesting. But those same black caucus politicians who's now reacting to George Floyd. And I'm glad that they are. Like I said, better late than never. Better late than never. And I'm glad to see people being unified. Black, white, Asian, everybody on a unified front. I think it's great. However, when they put forth these bills, don't think that they don't know about prison reform. Don't think they don't know about prison labor. Don't think that they don't know that there are people in jail getting paid $4 an hour, and when they come out, they can't work for those same corporations. They can't do it. So what should the reform be? Hey, big box corporation, if you want these prisoners to put computer parts, answer your phones, put together your toasters, put together your coffee makers and your microwaves inside prison, when they come out, a part of the reform is you got to hire them full time. You got to hire them full time, and you got to pay them equal wage. Give them medical insurance. Do you think the recidivism rate is going to change? Do you think that these people are going to be going back into jail when they can come out of prison and they've paid their debt to society? When you paid your debt to society and you served your prison term, I'm not saying that people should not get off scot-free. But if you commit a crime, okay, all right, you got to go do the time. But when you do the time and get out, and if I'm putting together a computer for you inside, then give me a job when I get out. Because if people can't get a job, they're going to do what they know what they got to do. That's just that simple. So this is what prison reform needs to be. And these politicians know it. But they're not going to change it because that takes away money out of their pocket. So what they would rather do is pick on the NRA. And I'm not pro-NRA. That's the National Rifle Association. But don't point fingers across the street when you taking money for prison labor. And all you got to do is enact a policy that says, you know what? I think it's great that you're training prisoners how to have these trades, and you're coming in and paying them pennies on the dollar. Okay? You're not paying them $12 an hour. You're not paying them $10 an hour. You're paying them $4 a day. At least give them a job when they come out. At least give them a job. And you don't have to do it Do it for 24 months. Guarantee them a job for 24 months so that they can get on their feet, go to school while they're working, get an associate degree or whatever they can do, and then keep them for 24 months. And if they do a good job, keep them for longer than that. But how long do you think? I'm not able to read the comments, unfortunately, until I get to a traffic light. But it seemed like there was a great question in there. But I'm telling you, your Black Caucus members know this. And none of them is putting together a law to reform this at all. So somebody, let me take this off for a second. How long do you think it's going to last? Well, let me just say this. This reform here is going to be permanent. And why do I say that? Because history is this. Whenever you have people of all ethnic groups joining together for a cause, then change will come. It will come. Case in point. During the civil rights movement, before Martin Luther King was assassinated, it was only people of color and a small percentage of other people marching. After Martin Luther King was assassinated, that was a black eye for America. America looked bad before every country, and everybody joined in on the civil rights movement. And then it became a concern, so the policy had to change. So your Jim Crow laws went away, your segregation laws went away. Brothers and sisters, those laws didn't go away until after Martin Luther King was assassinated, which sparked everybody of all colors to join in on it. This George Floyd case has caused everybody of every color to jump in on it. And the reason why is because you saw a police report that lied, and you had video proof from start to finish. So it was evident, it was clear. In the case in New York, the video only showed part of it. It didn't show all of it. So it was the community's words against the police officers' words. So those officers got off. In this case, you don't need a jury, you don't need a trial, you don't need nothing. Everybody saw what happened in this case. And it was so horrible that anybody with a heart says that's wrong. That was wrong. So yeah, laws are going to change. Police will be reformed. Absolutely. Because it's so obvious that you got everybody jumping in on it. But let me tell you, the worst crime in this is for the Black Caucus members to sit up there, and I'm glad that they are reacting. Better late than never. But you got a prison system that needs to be reformed, because all you're going to do is cause people to come out of jail, which is mainly people of color, and they can't get a job, and you know it. And you're sitting on your hands, Black Caucus, and you're not doing nothing about it. Nothing. You'll do something about it when everybody else jumps on. But if you want to be a trendsetter, jump on it right now. Don't react. Don't wait. Don't wait till something happens. React. Be proactive now, not reactive. Thank you for being reactive. Two people are jumping on the news and how they put together a policy and we just passed a bill. But I'm going to tell you, you do some history, that bill did not have to be passed. All you have to do is tell people to enforce the policies that you already have. Don't create a new policy with a new heading. and it's a new heading, and you're gonna make it like it's something new. See, I don't buy it because I read. I read. So when I read this stuff, I'm going to look, and this is what I tell you all about the scriptures. Look at what the scriptures can say something, but look at what it's inferring. Okay? And that's how you have to do the scriptures. That's how you have to do everything. If somebody says that to grab the fruit that comes from the trees, so they're inferring that there's other fruit. They're not saying that there's not other fruit. There are other fruits that don't come from the trees. Watermelon, cantaloupe, okay? Grapes come from a vine. But if they say grab the fruit that comes from the trees, that means if you're saying grab the fruit that comes from the trees, then apparently there's fruit that can come from other places. This is how you infer. So, or see what the subject is inferring, although it states one thing. So my point is, I wanted to bring this up. I wanted you all to have those numbers. You may not have been able to write it down. Go back and look at it later. This video is only 20 some odd minutes, but go in there and check out what I'm saying. And go on Google and look it up. I'm telling you information that I know. Go and look it up for yourself. So that's why I'm not jumping and hooping and rawing for a kumbaya party and jumping with this Black Caucus members who know better, because you're just as hypocritical as the Republicans. And you're going to point out the fact, well, you take money from the National Rifle Association. And all politicians on both sides of the fence take money from large corporations. All of them do. And that's why they're not saying nothing about this prison reform. So just wanted to leave that to you. Y'all have a good time. I'll be on tonight. We'll